Hey everybody, my name is Jay Martin. Thanks for watching this little YouTube video. We got a 2v2 game for you right now. I'm the Ottoman player on the right side, and on my left side is Leonidas, one of my favorite people to play with. And we were kinda, it was not a whole lot was going on. I was like, let's just fire off the Pyramids game. And so we fired off the Pyramids game, and we got a couple dudes to join with us. And the comment I wanted to make, or the point I want to try to make, is about being a good teammate. And I know in my last video I talked about the importance of teamwork and just recognizing the concept that a 2v2 game is different than a 4v4. This isn't just, I'm going to run forward my army and kill that guy necessarily, or try to kill him. And we got 40 units on our side, and you got 40 units on your side, and we need to work together to get your 40 units. And so we're going to try to work as a team. And in order for that to work, you have to be a good teammate. You have to help your partner out. And these guys had some problems with that, and it really shows what happens when you don't help your partner. Anyway, our opponents opposite me over here is Prussia. This guy has a weird name. It's like the superscript symbol, 3R, superscript, 9M, yada yada. So I'm just going to call this guy superscript. I'll put it in the title. That was him. And on the left is a dude from the Espadus group, and that's Phosphorus. And at the beginning, let me get you a better camera angle. I make a run for the hill, and it looks like Superscript here wanted to go for the hill too, but he backs off. I get my cav there first. And Phosphorus is this is a pretty good tactic in 2v2 in the Pyramids, as he starts kind of moving his army to maybe carry this axis here to kind of protect the hill and help his partner out. But Phosphorus has a problem that his partner really isn't moving at all. And yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, Alice, please. Anyway, his partner isn't moving at all, and Phosphorus is doing the right thing. Phosphorus is doing the right thing, and he's trying to support his partner up the hill. But you can kind of see, if you notice the disposition of his army, that it's about this point that he realizes that A, the hill is lost because I got there, and then B, his partner is moving back. Like this guy is moving back towards the red line to get his camp on. And this puts this player here in a really tough spot because, Leo's showing up in this area. This is Leo showing up, and Phosphorus here can't take us both on. That's not a winning proposition. And Superscript here really forces his hand by moving back. And at this point, what Phosphorus really needed was for Superscript to get in there and, at least engage with me, and that doesn't happen. And so Phosphorus does kind of the right thing, and it moves back to form up lines with his partner. And that's kind of stage one of the battle. Stage one of the battle was they give us the hill, and they retreat to the back. And that kind of happened. Like, they surrendered a really good terrain advantage to us without much of a fight, which is not good. And it forces them to get back here at the end of the map without a lot of room to maneuver, and it just doesn't give them a whole lot of options, right? And so about this time, Leo and I are looking at this, and we're like, well, they're not going to fight us, so I guess we have to go to them. And more importantly, because it doesn't look like this dude over here, Superscript, isn't going to do anything. Like, he's getting a full-on camp position now. We're like, well, if they're not going to fuck with us, then let's go fuck with them. And that really frees us. You can see I start to move. Those are my people there. I start to move them around to this flank. And if you just sit there and you give us all the time in the world to move around where we want to, then we're going to do that. And if you just sit there and... The real reason that maneuver is important is, think of it as like posing questions. Like, you have to pose questions to your opponent. If you just sit there and let your opponent dictate where things go, and you don't move to counter them. Like, look at this. We're moving about 6 or 7 cav units over here, and they can't react to it. Like, Phosphorus can't really do anything, because if he moves forces here, then we can just engage him here. And the fact that this guy just sits there is letting me pin down his whole 20 units with about 10 of mine. And then that frees me to move the other 10 units in my army over to take on Phosphorus. And you're going to lose every time if that happens. Like if we get to put 30 of our units on your 20, then we're going to win. And if you let me pin down a whole bunch of your units with just a few of mine, then you're going to lose. Now, the right play is probably for Superscript here to fucking charge me. That's probably the right play. But it's a little late for that now because we are about to start engaging Phosphorus here. And here comes the first movement. We engage kind of all across the line. And there's a big gob of cav right here that we're going to try to isolate as well. And what I do is I start moving up, and I've got my line guys there, and Leo's got his infantry there, and we're just going to engage these Prussian light infantry. And we might have done this better. These lights actually take a pretty substantial bite out of us, just because they're fucking good. You know, those are good units. But Leo's able to engage all across the line here, and in a minute, we're going to do something kind of cool, I think. Let me get into fast forward here. I might edit for time right about now. But what's going to happen... Look at all that cav out there. You know, another thing is this cav is positioned poorly. It's not really threatening all the infantry. You want to use your cav to threaten the infantry, but so what happens is we move. I think we have about 6 or 7 cav over there against their 5, and so we're like, all right, we'll just take that cav out. And so we start a big cav push there. That was good. That was a good move from Phosphorus. He got in there to threaten that infantry. And but we're just continuing to engage all across the line here. Leo's Janissaries go in, and we're ready to... And I think I moved my own melee unit in, but we've got a general engagement going along across Phosphorus' entire line, and this guy's still sitting there. Still sitting there, not doing anything. This is us, you know, just crunching that cav. They don't really have much of a chance. They're outnumbered and out-qualitied. The Ottoman Lancers are a lot better than the... Well, not a lot better, but they're better enough to make it matter than the Prussian Lancers. And our melee charges have carried us through the first line of infantry. Here comes more cav coming down, and there's not a whole lot that Phosphorus can do. I mean, he doesn't, because they retreated so far back, there's really no way for him to maneuver to kind of get out of this. He's hopelessly outnumbered because this guy is just sitting there. And this is kind of a huge fail on the team dynamic. You know, if you let this happen to you, then this is what's going to happen to you. You know, and it's kind of unfortunate that this player got put in this position, but you know that's the cards you roll. You know, I think it would be better in this case. I mean, this dude should have advanced at some point now, but even at the start of the game when you know, I kind of got in the hill. At least get up on the hill with me. You know, like let's have a bar fight for the hill. That's fun. I like doing that. And half the time you win. You know, it's not the end of the world. And right about here, we've finished off the cav there, and we've kind of collapsed the left, and we're working on the center of Phosphorus's line here. And yeah, you know, he just doesn't have any options. There's nowhere for him to go. There's really nothing for him to do. You know, when we can put, you know, 3 or 4 of our units on each one of yours, then that's a really good way to lose. And that you prevent this from happening is you have to get out there in the middle of... Hey, say hi to Bobby, everybody. The way that you prevent this is you get out there in the middle of the map where you have room to maneuver and ask, you know, force your opponents to answer some questions. If you let us ask all the questions, then we're going to be able to get in there and get you where we want you. And that isn't, you know, it's not fun for you, I'm sure, and it's you're not doing yourself justice. You know, you can deploy your army in a way that's a little more efficient and a little more practical. This is so we've cleared out Phosphorus on the left there, or the right, excuse me, and we're going to get in there and start working on Superscript here. This is me coming down on my flank. And another thing I want to mention is every time I play with Ottomans, it looks so daunting. Like, all I have here are the 3 line units. And man, he's got lights, and he's got some line, and I think there's some elite units in there, like foot guards and shit. And I'm always amazed just with how much damage these fucking bazookas can do. You know, I'm always so amazed with how much damage they can do. It always looks so daunting, and then you actually get in there and cause some havoc. and you'd be amazed at how well they can do. And that's me repositioning to get on the hinge of his box there. And from this point on, it's pretty straightforward. We can advance and kill this guy. We've got a pretty good numbers advantage. And here go those bazookas, and they're going to get in there and cause some trouble with this guy. Cause some trouble. I guess it's worth mentioning that, the same concepts I'm talking about are relevant in 1v1 games too. That if you're completely passive like this and you let your opponent ask all the questions, then eventually they're going to come up with a couple that you can't answer. And this kind of camping stuff might work against maybe newer or lesser experienced players, but I guess I'll say the same thing I always say, is that even if you do that, I'm sure it's not as fun, and it's definitely not as interesting. And somebody's fucking with me right now. Oh, it's Kraz. Hey, Kraz, I'm doing a commentary, bud. Doing a commentary, Kraz. Oh my God. See, this is how mature all my friends are. We're gonna block him. There we go. No. Oh my God, why are you still talking to me? Okay, so that was Kraz, everybody. Say hi. But if you just sit there and be passive, the game probably isn't as fun, and you're also just not going to win a lot. And you got to get in there, ask some questions. Make them react to you a little bit. If all you're doing is reacting to your opponent, then it's not going to turn out terribly well. But anyway, that was a little 2v2 in Pyramids we played this morning. And I want to say GG to the guys who played with Phosphorus from Espadas and the Superscript dude. And then Leonidas and myself on the other side of the map. So anyway, thanks for watching, and get in there and attack someone. Bye.